Hey, it's me, Miss Genevieve, and I'm joining you for this week's lesson, which is all about nature and seeing God and seeing spirit in nature. Nature just kind of means the outside, places that are natural, places where there's grass or rock or earth or trees, or even just a little bit of dirt. So maybe even for this lesson, I invite you to take the device you're watching on outside if possible and sit in the sun or sit by a window, someplace where you can see nature, see a tree in the wind or see the grass growing. Um, and as we talk, I'm going to read you a story and then I'm going to suggest an activity you can do together to really touch in with nature. So this story is called A Walk in the City. Tisha was out on the balcony of her family's second-story apartment when her father called her. The large planter box there had a lovely miniature world where Tisha imagined fairies napping on the woolly thyme and playing tag among the tulips. The trailing vine that she'd helped plant had grown long enough to hang over the edge of the balcony and wave at the neighbors below. She ran to join her father as he called again. It was errand day, and there was no time to sit with the flowers. Her father's strong hand held hers as they stepped out into the noisy city sidewalk. Tisha looked up, past the tall buildings, to the friendly little clouds in the bright blue sky. The sun warmed her face, and she felt its happy energy. Their first stop was the coffee shop. While her dad stood in line, Tisha noticed a small black spider moving silently across the floor. She took a paper cup from the counter and put it in front of the spider so it would crawl inside. When they left the shop, Tisha gave one hand to her father and kept the cup in the other. She watched the curious spider explore the empty white world of the cup while they walked to the pharmacy. At the pharmacy door, Tisha gently let the spider out onto a pot of welcoming pansies. As the spider tiptoed away, a ladybug landed on Tisha's sleeve. It magically folded its wings. The cheerful spot seemed to say, "Hello," and Tisha invited it to ride along as they walked to the dry cleaner's shop. As they reached the cleaners, the polite ladybug winged its thanks to Tisha and flew into the sunshine. Her father met a friend outside the shop, and while the grown-ups chatted, Tisha watched a determined snail move slowly up a concrete wall, leaving a shiny trail. She held the paper cup up on the wall, and the snail moved in. All the way to the bicycle shop, the snail traveled around the cup, and Tisha could turn the cup in any direction, and the snail just kept sliming along with its antenna eyes going up and down. The bicycle shop had a long strip of grass in front, and Tisha found the perfect spot for the snail behind a large rock. While the snail munched a leaf, Tisha watched two birds have a bathing party in a puddle left by last night's rainstorm. They were having such fun they didn't notice a long, tasty earthworm laying on the wet pavement. Tisha carefully picked it up and put it in her cup. And then she put a bit of wet dirt in too, for comfort. The earthworm curled and wiggled in the little dirt it had, and Tisha watched it stretch out and then shrink again all the way home. Tisha and her father climbed the stairs to their second floor apartment and went inside. Tisha walked through the living room and directly out to the balcony, where the large planter still sat in the sun. She looked carefully for the soft spot under the tulips and tipped the cup so the earthworm could dig a new home. Tisha was sure that the worm and the fairies would get along very well. Isn't that a lovely story? And it ties so into our affirmation for this week, which is all of nature holds the beauty and presence of spirit. All of nature holds the beauty and presence of spirit. This is so true, right? Have you ever been on a walk when you noticed little bugs or little pieces of leaves or something beautiful in nature? It's all around us, just like that spider in the coffee shop. Sometimes, even when we're inside, there's pieces of God's natural world around us. And when we stop to notice and appreciate them and notice their beauty, their gentleness, their strength, we're noticing God in that noticing of that beautiful piece of nature. We're noticing how present the Spirit of God is in our lives. All of nature holds the beauty and presence of Spirit. So, if it's not too cold where you are, I'm going to invite you once again to go outside right now. Take your mom or dad or your grandma or grandpa or your uncle or your cousin or someone who's nearby and step outside. And if it's not too cold, take your shoes off and feel the dirt on your feet if you have dirt nearby or even rocks. And take a deep breath of the fresh outside air. And I want you to look around, and in that moment of feeling the earth and feeling the air, I want you to notice something beautiful. It could be something small, like a bug. It could be something big, like a cloud in the sky. But I want you to just find something beautiful and give thanks for God's presence in your life. Okay, I'll see you next time.